don't know, Bart, I hear you're giving us crap in the comments here. We're going to have to check it out and see what you're saying. Good morning, everybody. Sorry for the slight delay there. I was tangled up in my cords. It was one of these, like, it's like out of a Charlie Chaplin movie. I'm pulling off my cables here, unwrapping them, and the more I unwrap them, the more tangled they get. Before I know it, I'm like, I just give up. I'm going back to bed. It was kind of like that. But here we are. We got it up and running. We're almost ready. We're going to take this couple of pre-show minutes to really truly get ready because I am clearly somewhat discombobulated today. If I could find all the pieces that I need, we would be off to such a great start. But I haven't yet found that. So let's see here. Let's get the chat room open here. Pop out chat. There we go. Now I can see the chat. All right. Let's see here. Ryan. I see Ryan preempted it. He told you even that we might be late well before. Bart says, unacceptable. I pay absolutely nothing for this content, so I expect it to be top-notch and on time. Oh, that's funny. And actually, Bart, it's funny you say that, because that is a perfect segue into the pre-show show. So this is, no, the pre-show, whatever. You'll understand. It'll all make sense at some point in the not-too-distant future. Let me see if I can figure out how to make this work, though. And that's not, you know what, we're not going to have the countdown clock today, that's right, because I'm using this computer for something else. Let me get this set up. Let me go and put this over here. We're going to be bouncing around between cameras today, and I want to make sure that I can do a clean switch for you guys. So we're going to be over here. Can you lock this thing right? There we go. And yeah, this is totally going to work. Yeah, this is going to be cool because I'm going to be able to do this. You go to that camera. Okay, whoo-hoo, that one, and we're gonna do this one, whoo-hoo, it's a black and white one, and we're gonna do the main one. Yeah, good. Yeah, it's gonna be a good show. Cool. All right. Let's plug my ears back in and get this thing rolling. All right, that's in place. That's in place. I got a lot to cover today. I hope I remember everything. Ryan, don't let me forget the contest. If I forget the contest, Ryan, I don't think I'll forget because I got this sitting right here. Now that I've said that for everyone, everybody else is going to remind me. Contest? Contest? Okay. Yeah, whatever. I think we're pretty much good enough, ready to go. Frederick Van Johnson, yo, Photo Joe. Hello, Frederick. When are you going to come up here and be like a live in-studio guest on my show? So I'm going to call Mr. Frederick Van Johnson out. Y'all know Frederick, the host of TWIP, the This Week in Photo podcast. It is back. It is back. It is awesome. It is in charge. It is all those euphemisms, whatever. It's awesome. Frederick and I have been friends for a very long time. It's been like over a decade, probably closer to 15 years we've known each other. I've lived here in Southern Oregon now for 7 years, I think. He has not once been up here to visit me. Not once. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I think a friend's got to come up and visit. So y'all tell Mr. Frederick here that he's got to come visit. Invite you. Oh my God, look at this. Invite me. Formal public invitation, my friend. Please come up here, be a part of the show, have some barbecue, check out our local scenery, see a play. Come on, man. Invite me like he's never been invited before. Do you see this? You see what's going on here? Okay. One more thing I just remembered I did not set up yet. Let me get this set up, and then we will truly be ready to fire up this show. What's the thing called again? It's the thingy in the, oh yeah, that's it. Excellent. All right, there we go. There we go. Bart says, we finally have reached the end of paperwork for our new house. Going to be building a studio at last. Oh, nice. Might have to pick up a Mevo and do some live streams as I build. There you go. Where'd you get that idea? I have no idea. Not a clue in the world. Okay. I think we're ready. Let's do this thing. All right. Before I do the show, I have a pre-show show that I'm going to do. Just something I want to talk to you guys about. And we're going to, obviously the whole thing's being recorded. We're going to take this and upload it as a separate thing later as well. But you, my live audience, the small collection of you who are here today, that's okay. Small audience is good for this. And showception. It's not quite a showception part. It's going to be, whatever. Just roll with it. Here we go. I want to talk to you guys about the finances of a show like this. As you can imagine, a show like this is not cheap to operate, and I actually sat down last night and did the math on what it costs every show, every episode that we do, and that's just hourly, right? Of course, I know the salary of my assistant Ryan and what he's doing out there, and I know what I pay myself. And we're talking salary, not like charging some crazy amount per hour, but just what I pay myself on salary. And so I know what each episode costs. And I look back at last year at the finances that the show brought in between AdSense revenue and affiliate links and other things that are associated with the show, and did the math and realized that we are about 50%, for last year, about 50% of just breaking even. The show is costing money. And we always knew the show was costing me money, and that's perfectly fine because a show like this takes time to build up. You know, when you get up to the level of some of the bigger YouTubers, you've got hundreds of thousands of followers, that AdSense revenue is pouring in, and you're making really good money, and that is awesome. This show is not that, and I don't know that this show will ever get to the hundreds of thousands of followers because, let's face it, it's a little bit niche. And so, in trying to solve this riddle, how do we support a show like this? I was talking to a good friend of mine, Mr. Fenwick, who I'm going to call out on here because he's awesome, and he said something that really resonated with me, and he calls it value for value. The idea is that if you are offering something of value to your audience, and of course you guys being my audience, that if you actually learn something, benefit from that in some way because you learned something that saved you time, or you learned a technique that you didn't know before, or maybe you were simply entertained, or it saved you a ton of time, you're trying to solve a problem and what you watched here saved you a ton of time. Was that worth something to you? And if that's worth something to you, could you put a financial value on that and then perhaps consider pushing at least some of that financial value towards the show as a way to say thank you for what I've learned? And so instead of having just kind of a general, hit that super chat button, which doesn't really work, and then YouTube takes 30% of it anyway, and it only works in live, and it doesn't work on mobile, and that's not a big thing. Or just promoting the Patreon, which isn't going away, but just promoting that. I needed something a little bit better than that. And so the suggestion that I took from my friend Chris and that I've put together today is called simply support. And I have a new web page for this called support. It's photojoseph.com/support. And there are 4 primary ways that you, my viewing audience, who, if you feel that you have benefited, you have learned, you have gained value from today's show, can help support the show. The 4 ways are either buying something from affiliate. That's an easy one. If you're going to buy gear, try and use one of my affiliate links. I get a couple of % off of that. If you're buying a filter, I'm going to get pennies. If you're buying a camera, it could be $20, $30, $40. That can definitely add up. The second way is the Patreon. Now, I've revamped the Patreon page, and Patreon now has lower contribution levels. You got a $1, $2, $5, $10, and I believe $20 contribution levels. That is a monthly recurring thing. So if you feel like you gain something on a regular basis, go ahead and punch in a number there, have it contribute to the show on a regular schedule. The third one is a direct one-off contribution. You watch a show and you go, wow, I just learned something insane, or maybe just, you know what, that was entertaining. I really enjoyed that. That's worth $1 or $10 or $100 or whatever it might be. How much time did I save you? What's that worth to you? And you can send that via PayPal, Google Pay, Apple Pay, Venmo, whatever you like. The email address is always the same, joseph@photojoseph.com. Just send whatever you feel is valuable to you, whatever you feel it was worth to you. And the fourth one is to hire me as a consultant, because I do this. I do consulting on an hourly basis. You can call me, we can talk on the phone, we can talk via video chat, and I can help you solve much more complex problems. Are you building a live production studio? Are you trying to figure out how in the heck to move from Aperture to Lightroom finally? What major photographic, video, live streaming related problem are you trying to solve? And can I help you with that? And if so, then by all means, please hire me. So if you head over to photojoseph.com/support, you'll see this new page here, and you'll see a little bit of explanation of what I just talked about, the value for value, and then the 4 ways to support. So there's a link to Patreon, a link to an affiliates page, a link to book a call for private consultation, and then just instructions on direct contribution. Again, using PayPal, Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, or whatever. Frankly, you sign up for something else and you send money over it, I'll figure out a way to connect to it. The affiliate page, let me just show you that really quick, does take you to a link that is apparently broken. Aha, I changed that earlier. I need to fix that. We'll fix that later. Built this last night. And on here we have links to the kit.com page, the B&H page, Amazon, and Autorama, the major ones. And I'll get some more in here as well. But one of the key things here is if you shop on Amazon regularly, you can take this link right here, just drag that into your bookmarks bar, and use that whenever you're going to shop on Amazon. If you click on that, that'll load my affiliate cookie, and then anything you purchase then, I'll earn a little piece of. So just different ways to support the show. So for those of you watching today, if you feel like you've learned something from today's show, well, not this part of it, but the show that you might have just watched or about to watch, then by all means, please feel free to support the show. I would really appreciate it. It would help keep us on the air because we really do have to grow the income on this show. losing money is not a good proposition, and it's we're far, far away from CaseyNice level followers. So let's see what we can do. Let's build the show together and see what we can do. Thanks a bunch. All right, guys, so you just saw that. So what do you think? You saw that live. We're recording that. I'm going to take that and put that as a separate piece. What do you think about that? Is that okay? Is that like I'm going to ask you for direct money thing is a little uncomfortable, a little bit odd, but I mean, I got to do it, right? I got to make money on the show. The show is literally costing as much money as it's making right now. Does that make sense? It's making half of what you know what I mean. It's earning half of what it costs, and that's just the wages of myself and Ryan. That's not counting any equipment. That's not counting rent on the studio or internet, or electricity or AC or any of that stuff. That's not counting any of that. It's just the hours that put into it. If we include all the rest of it, then it's probably closer to a third. So I want to know what you guys think. Lucas says your content is worth it. Thank you very much. Marvin says you'll go for that like the Amazon link idea. Thanks. So Marvin, we set up Amazon affiliates in all the major countries that we could, and for some reason the UK one never got a single click, which surprised me because I have a really big UK audience, and they cut off my affiliate. They said nobody ever used your link, so we cut it off. I don't quite understand what happened there, but it did. Hey Ryan, would you do me a favor? Grab me a bottle of water. Sorry, I'm chattering. I'm going to be talking a lot today. I'm going to be thirsty. But yeah, so Bart says you've definitely given me lots of value. Actually inspired me to start live streaming. Well, awesome. There you go. So again, anything that you can do to help, every little bit helps. Those affiliate links, they do add up. I actually make more. The show makes more on affiliate links than it does on ad revenue, which is pretty remarkable because the majority of the affiliate clicks are little tiny things. When I look at the actual numbers of cameras purchased, aren't there any in the basket? I can hear them climbing the ladder. A lot of them are just little things, you know, nickel and diming, but they do add up. They do add up. So, death by 1,000 cuts or funded by 1,000 pennies, something along those lines. I should put that on a T-shirt. Anyway, so that's that. Let's see here. Shiva Kumar says regarding Amazon. Thank you very much. Regarding Amazon, why do you try the Genius link, which auto parses the Amazon side of the corresponding country, but again, the service is paid? Yeah, we looked into that, and yes, it was a paid service. There was another reason that we couldn't do it, or we didn't do it. I don't remember what it was now. Part of it, I think, is because I like to encourage people. I do encourage people to use B&H as much as possible. Funny fact, I actually make less off of B&H, but B&H has done a lot for me, and I really like to support B&H. And if they send a product, like let's just say that they sent me, you know, this piece of paper to do a review on, I'm only going to tell you, hey, I'm going to tell you, hey, they sent me this. If you're going to buy it, please buy it from B&H. If I put affiliate, or when I put affiliate links, they're only going to be B&H if they send it. If I have something else that I bought, whether I bought it on Amazon or anywhere else, then I will include affiliate links to everywhere. We have that new thing, the kit.com/PhotoJoseph, and that does both Amazon and B&H, but that system is evolving, and they need to get it to a point where you can have a product with multiple buttons, buy from Amazon, buy from B&H. It's a work in progress. I mean, seems like it's a work in progress, but, you know, it does work. Shiva also says, apparently YouTube has a sponsorship option, just like or maybe better than Patreon, which I noticed in the Art of Photography YouTube channel. That's only for gaming channels. Yeah, so that is not something that we qualify for because we're not gamers. All right, and Bart says I got a large purchase coming up from B&H and Amazon for a new house and studio. I'll definitely use your links. Thank you very much. Need a few new TVs? There you go. There you go. Okay. That said, let us get on with today's show. Thanks a lot, guys. So I'm glad you guys think that was okay. The delivery on that was okay. If you're all like, no, that was bad. If you all think that was good, I'll cut out the part where I went to the wrong webpage because we need to fix that, and I'll upload that as a separate thing. Okay. Shiva Kumar says the Art of Photography channel has a sponsor button enabled, which is not related to gaming. Are you sure it's sponsored via YouTube? We'll check it out. Thank you. We'll look at that and see what it is. Whatever it is, though, YouTube is going to take a chunk of it, a pretty significant chunk. So, you know, there we go. Everybody says that was good. Okay. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Let's get on with today's show, shall we? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. We got everything in place. Got the filters, the camera, got the pictures. That camera's still on. The pictures are loaded. Let's do this thing. It's going to be a good one. All right. See, I need props for this. I need to, like, yeah. Let's get that one and that one. Haha. There we go. That's what we're going to do. All right, here we go. On today's show, we're going to be looking at color filters and see how they can affect your black and white photography. Good morning and welcome to PhotoJoseph's Photo Moment, the first live 3 times a week show here on YouTube, all about photography, video, live streaming, all that kind of goodness. It's right here at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at youtube.com/PhotoJoseph. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Today we're talking about black and white photography using color filters. And you might think at first, well, hold on a second, I heard about that. That's something that those film guys use. You don't need to do that. It's all digital now, and you can just do it in the Lightroom and get the same effect. Well, you can get a similar effect, but is it the same? Probably not, because when you're changing the actual light that's coming into the sensor, things are recorded in a different way than if you just record your standard color picture and then go and tweak it. Now, let's be honest. Would most people be able to tell the difference? Yeah, probably not. But hey, you're watching this show, you love photography, you're a purist, and you want to have some fun with your photography and experiment in different ways and see what you can do. And so that's what we're going to be doing. So I've got a few things to show you. We're going to talk about the filters themselves and how to adapt those filters to your lens, whatever size it may be. I'm going to show you a website that's a really, really good resource for black and white photography with color filters, and I want you to definitely check out. Click on their link. We've included the link down below. You can check them out. And I'm going to show you some pictures that I shot outdoors yesterday, and then I'm going to go stand in front of the camera over there and put different color lenses, different color filters on, so you can see the effect that it has on skin tone. Some will be pleasing, some will be terrifying. You don't want to mix them up. So let's start off with the basics. We start off with 5 color filters, and you can use any color filter you want, frankly, but there's 5 that are usually associated with black and white color filter photography. In no particular order, actually in the order that they're in my bag here, you've got green, you've got orange, you've got yellow. I'm going to try not to put my fingers all over these, but I can tell I've already messed that up. You've got red, and you've got blue. Now this particular pack, which was really inexpensive, I believe this was under $30. I always forget to check these things, but we'll put that link down below as well. It actually comes with those, as well as a gray filter and a whole other pack, which I've tossed somewhere else, that's got a variety of orange. They're kind of CTO filters, but not really. I don't know what the, anyway, doesn't matter. Really inexpensive. The company that makes this is called K&F Concepts. Here, let's take a close look at this guy here. So this is a little filter pack. You get this nice little thing like so. I've talked about K&F Concept stuff before, and you can see in here, if I got this paper so you can really see the color of the filters in there. So these are the filters that it comes with. Like, we don't need to look at all of them. And it's a great little pack. Off you go. Now, when you buy this, you have to choose a filter size. So what size do you get? And you might be thinking, well, I've got 3 different filter sizes on my variety of lenses. Do I have to buy 3 different sets? No, you don't. Really cool thing. It's easy to forget this, but it's one of those like, oh yeah, I totally knew that. Buy the biggest one that you would need. Maybe even buy bigger, just because, hey, why not? Maybe you'll get another lens one day that might be even bigger. And then use step-down filters to make it fit what you've got. So I bought these at 67 millimeter. The lens that I'm going to use it on today is the LUMIX, the Panasonic 12 to 35 f2.8, which has a, let's see here, no, I forgot. It has a 58 millimeter filter on it, filter thread. So I will take this and a couple of these and stop them down. So let me show you how these things work. Let's see, let's get a little close up on these guys. So these are step down filters that you can see from the descriptions on there, like that one on the top there goes, try and get the glare off of it. Oh, oops, that's not the one I wanted to put down. Let's try and get the glare off of that there. 55 to 58. So that'll take a 55 millimeter lens and allow you to put a 58 millimeter filter on it. And of course, we're talking the screw size, not the focal length. And you can stack these together. So what I've got here, find the right one, this one here will take me from the filter size of 77 millimeter all the way down to 67, but that's not the one that I want for today. The one I want for today is right here. That's one I'll actually use. This one will take me from a, get the glare off of it, come on, there we go, a 67 millimeter filter, allow me to put it on a 58 millimeter lens. And you can combine these together at as many levels as you want. I've actually did, it's kind of funny, I took the entire stack and put that on a really small lens with a huge filter. It's great, so you can do that. So that's what we're going to do today, is I'm going to use that little combination. And we'll put links to all these things down below, or just head over to kit.com/PhotoJoseph, and we'll have on there as seen on today's show. But the idea is we take these, put them together, and now you can put any size filter on any lens that you've got. By the way, if you are watching live, don't forget that you can ask questions in the chat room. This is one of the great benefits of watching live. And if I bring up the chat room, you'll see right here, there are some questions. There is one. If you put the @PhotoJoseph in front of it, then I can see it, and I know there's a question. Bart has said, I actually put step-up rings directly onto my lenses and buy new lens caps to fit. Oh, clever. This way I know any lens I grab automatically has the same front filter thread. Aren't you clever? Very, very good way to do it. If you're doing if you're going to be putting filters on and off constantly, that's a perfectly great way to do things. If you're just doing it occasionally, then maybe you don't need to go quite that far, but that is a great option. Thank you for sharing that part. Very cool. Okay, so now, what do the filters actually do? Well, on a purely technical, scientific level, I need like a bow tie for this part of it. A color filter allows that color through and blocks the other colors. Not completely, but it blocks those other colors to some degree. Okay, so if I put this, and this makes sense if you think about it. If you look through this filter right now, everything looks orange because it's letting the orange light through and blocking the other lights, right? That's logical, it makes sense. We're not talking colors, we're talking black and white photography. Well, as you know, of course, in black and white photography, every color gets reduced to a shade of gray. And sometimes in black and white photography, some similar, actually not even similar, but some colors that are totally standoffish, totally not opposites, but they very much contrast each other in the color world. When you go to black and white, their shades of gray, their values get so close that they can tend to blend together a little bit. And so you want to take some colors and make them brighter or darker. In the case of grayscale, making them brighter or darker gray, closer to white or closer to black. And so you can then separate them out, separate one color out from another that might otherwise blend together. So an orange filter will let orange light through, block other light. So anything orange in your scene is going to get brighter, closer to white. Anything not orange is going to get closer to black. So let's see, if you think about a red filter. So red filter is a really good one for sky photography, any kind of landscape stuff where you're going to see the sky, because blue is going to go almost black. Your white clouds still come through as white. They actually can get a little bit brighter white, and your sky goes really, really dark, and so you can end up with a really cool high contrast view of the world. It can be beautiful. If you, let's see here, if you start with, let's do this in some semblance of order. All right, so we start with red as a starting point. Yellow is a very neutral one. It's the most calm, least affecting of the image that you would use. Quite good for skin tone. It'll soften, smooth out skin tone, but it might not be enough. And so then you've got your orange, which sits in between the two. And yellow and orange are typically ones that are going to look best on skin, and we're going to try that. And then I'll put the blue one on, and it's going to look awful on skin, but we'll see what that does. Blue's pretty dramatic. Blue doesn't get used that much. But that's the basic idea. Now let's take a look at the computer here real quick. I've got there it is. I've got this webpage. This is the one that I told you about. It's let's go to the top of this thing. The article's called Using Colored Filters in Black and White Photography. The website is Photography Mad. And he's got on here a great little chart that shows, here's the colors down the left. Let's make this a little bit bigger here. The colors down the left here, red, reddish, towards yellow, towards orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. And then across the top, what color filter you put on. And then, of course, inside of that, the results. So if you have no filter, you can see your red goes to a darkish like this, and the orange goes like that, and yellow goes like that, and so on. You put a red filter on, and your reds and even the oranges go really, really bright. So those go towards white. Your greens and blues go towards black. If you put an orange filter on, you can see that your yellows get up towards white, your oranges get brighter, your greens and blues get darker, but not as much as they do with the red. And then the yellow, again, is continuing that trend. So your greens and blues are a little bit lighter than they were before. Your reds and yellows are a little bit darker, reds are a little bit darker, and your oranges and yellows are considerably brighter. Green takes your reds and throws them to black. Blue takes your reds, yellows, and oranges and throws all those towards black. So really big change. So again, the blue is going to be a huge change on here, and versus the other ones. But red is going to be one of the most dramatic for shooting skies. So that's the basic idea there. Pretty straightforward. It can be hard to remember that. If you had like a color printer, you could print out something like this and keep it in your bag just so you have that visual memory there until you get really, really used to it. So now let's talk about the idea of shooting this digitally, because of course that's what we're all shooting today. We're shooting digital, well, most of us. when you shoot digital, if you put your camera in JPEG only mode, then you're going to get a black and white photo out of your camera. And if you put these color filters in front of the lenses, you're going to see the effect of that immediately. When you take the picture, you're looking on the back of your screen, you're going to see the effect immediately. If you're shooting mirrorless, by the way, this is yet again one of those awesome reasons to shoot mirrorless. If you're shooting mirrorless and you put the camera in black and white mode, you'll actually see through the viewfinder the image in black and white. You'll see the effect of that filter in real time. So you can look through the filter and go pop, 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 there's the one that I want. Phenomenal, right? That is really, really cool that you can do. You can even, I don't know about other cameras, but on the Lumix cameras, you can set the viewfinder to always be black and white even if you're shooting color. Kind of an interesting approach. But generally, you put the camera into black and white mode, and then you see it in black and white, and you put the color filter in front of it. Now, as I said, if you're shooting JPEG, that's what you get is just the black and white file. If you shoot RAW, though, as you should, if you shoot RAW, then you're going to see black and white through the viewfinder. When you hit play on the back of the camera, you're going to see that black and white picture. But once you load that picture up into Lightroom or Photoshop, whatever you're using, suddenly it's going to be color. And it's going to be color with a big, heavy red cast, orange cast, blue cast, whatever on top of it. Like, whoa, what just happened to my picture? Well, obviously it's got the color filter on there. So now you're going to go into Lightroom, Photoshop, whatever, and do your black and white conversion. And you're going to be converting different values than you would have had you started with the baseline. Now, I'm going to show you these pictures. In fact, let me get this fired up here. Let's pull up Lightroom, and let's just take a look at it. So here's Lightroom. Let's start with this picture. I took two setups, two series of photos in here. This is the original. Now let me actually, let's get the right, nope, wrong button there. There we go. There's the original. So that's just standard, no filter. You can see it's kind of a hazy day. There's a little bit of blue in the sky, but not a whole lot. And then I shot that same picture in with the blue filter, with the green filter, with the, let's see, am I getting the right ones? That's, I guess, oh, that's the green, sorry. Oh yeah, up here on the top left, I wrote it down even. Look, that's the green filter, the one before. There's the yellow filter, so there was green, there was the orange filter, and there was the red filter. And then I shot another picture, just a bit of a different shot. There's your normal one, followed by shot through blue, shot through yellow, shot through green, shot through orange, and shot through red. So if you go into Lightroom and you click the black and white button, it does an automatic black and white conversion. It looks at the file and determines how best to do it. So when I first started playing with these, I just went through each one of them, clicked the black and white button, but then I realized that in Lightroom, you have all these black and white, you have all these sliders, red, green, blue, etc. sliders that get adjusted a different amount, so it's trying to enhance the photo as best as the algorithm thinks it should be. But it was treating each one of those photos differently because, of course, one had this big red cast to it, one had this big orange cast to it. So I scratched that, threw it away, went back to the beginning, did an auto enhance for the unaltered picture, and then I copy and pasted that enhancement to all the other pictures. So we can truly see the difference of the black and white filter, the glass filter, on these different images. So that's what we've got. I see Ricardo and Achita in the chat room saying, awesome topic, smiley faces, thank you very much, glad you're enjoying it. Okay, so now let's go back to this and let's take a look at the black and white conversions. So here's our native photo, again, that's the native one in black and white. Go to this next one and there's blue. Now, the blue, as I said, is probably one of the least likely ones to get used. You can see the whole foreground area has gone really, really, really dark in there. The sky is just as flat as it was before, and it just doesn't, it's not really doing anything for us. Okay, let's go to yellow next. Yellow might be a little bit better. Green, oh, now we're starting to see something interesting. We're starting to see a little bit more in the clouds up here. And we go to orange, and we're really starting to see some of the clouds come through. Now, this is getting quite dark in here. We'll come back to that in a moment. Right now, let's look at the clouds. And then finally up to red, where we're getting probably the most dramatic, I'd say the red is the most dramatic on the cloud. So again, there's your original photo. And if you just look at the clouds here, I mean, this is one of the cool things. Just look at the clouds in this sense versus here. Go back to the color one, right? The clouds are, I mean, it's gone, right? The sky changed a little bit, but not that much. But here you can see the clouds so much more in black and white and in color. Now, Bart is pointing something out that actually I think is worth mentioning right now. He says, have you ever tried to white balance with one of the filters on, then take the filter off and see what the photos look like? Interesting. I have not. Is it cool? Or is that just a question like you've never tried it? I don't know. I've never tried that. But here's one of the things that I neglected to change. And in retrospect, I think the result would be even more pronounced. I did not set the camera to manual white balance. And I totally should have, because the white balance shifted as I put the color filters on there. So I think that if the camera was in manual white balance, we would have an even more pronounced difference between them. So remember that. put your camera into manual white balance. Auto exposure is great because these filters are obviously blocking light, so if you got a perfectly set up exposure without a filter, you put a filter on, the image is going to get a lot darker, so that's no good. So you're going to have to adjust the exposure to compensate for that. So if you're shooting in some level of auto or semi-auto exposure, you're going to be just fine. But lock in your white balance if you want to do a big comparison to really see the difference. I didn't do that. I totally should have done that. Of course, I can go in here now and change the white balance because, hey, I shot raw. So you know what? I haven't even done this yet. Let's do this real quick. I'm getting away from where I was going to go, but I think this is a good idea. So this picture, there's our native one, white balance as shot. Let's see if I just set it to, well, just it's 5900 and plus 9. So let's go to this one here, 5950 plus 9, close enough. Go to this one here. Let's change that, 5900. It's not really making much of a difference. You can see if I adjust the white balance, it's going to make a subtle difference in there. But it's interesting. If you're going to do a true comparison, I think you really do want to have your white balances all about the same. Okay, so that's kind of interesting. So you got the white balance effect on there. Again, something I hadn't planned on talking about, but Bart's comment reminded me of that. That is something worth mentioning in there. But as you saw here, we've got a lot of darkness happening in the shadows in here. So let's go back to the first one. And actually, no, let's not even go back to the first. Let's just go through each one here and enhance the shadow and highlight contrast, the shadow and highlight settings of those. And we don't need to do all of them. Let's just go to the last couple ones, the ones that are most dramatic. Let's do the red. Let's take the red, and now I'm going to lift the shadows up on the red on there, and maybe even bring the highlights down a little bit. And now we're starting to get into something that's quite a bit more interesting in there. We're seeing a lot. Now, admittedly, this is not the best scene in the world. Unfortunately, it's the middle of winter. Not that you'd know it looking outside, but it is the middle of winter. We don't have any fall colors, so the green trees are just greenish, grayish, blah. So this isn't the best time of year to do this sort of thing, but you work with what you got. Let's go back to the comments real quick here. Bart says, I recall seeing a video about the white balance trick a long time ago. I think they put a gel in front of the lens and then the white balance, and then move the gel to get the flash. Move the gel to the flash and shot. Oh, that's a really good topic. I should totally do a show on that. That is a neat trick to do. Okay. Good. I'm going to do that. I'll do that in a future show. Marvin says, wouldn't using a post-process which allows you to select areas of the photo be better? Okay, so great point, Marvin, and this is why I mentioned it in the beginning. You could do this digitally, and you could probably get, for most people, the same type of result. Part of this is just a purism thing. Let's just have some fun with the purity of it. But let's remember that the data being recorded by the sensor is going to be different. Right? Yes, you can isolate the blues and change the contrast, change the darkness of the blues, but you are, at some point, you're saying, well, this pixel is somewhere between here and here, so it gets darkened a little bit less. When it came into the camera, it was recorded that way natively. I think, in general, if you can do things optically, you're going to get a better result. Your mileage may vary. By all means, I think that it's one of those things that's worth playing with. They're cheap enough. If you're into black and white photography, it's totally worth playing with, and you might find that it's not worth the effort, but you know what? You might find that it changes your total world. Yeah, you never know. Got to give it a try. You got to give it a try and see what happens. Okay, so let's go back to this. So there's those photos. So there, that one, again, this is with the red filter. You can see up here on the left it says red. The sky is looking really dramatic, and we've brought up the shadows in the foreground. Let's just look at the next series of photos, and then we're going to go and put one of these things on my face and see what happens there. So again, there's normal, blue, yellow. So even yellow here is looking pretty good. Green, orange. Look at how much more dramatic the sky looks now. And then red, and now we're really trucking. Now, unfortunately, the sun was setting, so the first photo here, there's a little bit of light on the building. The last one, there barely is. But ignoring that, last one, it barely is. But ignoring that, if we look at this, and now we take our, let's see, I think I'll take the shadows up just a little bit on here, and maybe add a little clarity to this. And let's do this. Let's really goose the contrast on there. Really make that look pretty cool on there. Yeah, look at that. Now we're getting somewhere. So now I might want to go in and, I don't know, add a spotlight on that. Probably just shot at a different time of day to actually get some light on the building. But we're getting somewhere, right? This is really, really cool compared to the original of with the red filter and then the original photo on its own. Just a really fun, cool things that you can do in here. And I think it's just one of those fun things to play with, fun things to experiment with. And, you never know what you're going to get. Well, you do, but you might learn something, you might enjoy it. Achicha says, check out Ansel Adams' Monolith, the face of Half Dome. It's one of the best black and white with a red filter ever. Very, very good photo. Absolutely. Okay, so now let's take a look at what this looks like on the face. So let me see here. I think we're all set up. Let me unplug myself here and head over to that shot. All right, grab my filters. And here we go. Hello, everybody. I probably should grab the color filters themselves. That would be a very clever idea because I'm smart like that. All right. So let's see. I need to put, which camera? There we go. I need to put this guy on. So if we could switch over to this filter now, this camera now. Let's make sure that's focused on me. I'm going to take this ring and put this guy on there to start. So this is just the adapter ring. Should hopefully get that on and leave that on. And I'm not going to, I'll tighten this guy. I'm not going to tighten the other filters down once I put it on. There we go. And let's start with what should be good. Let's start with orange. So we're looking at that. So there's me. I'm looking good there. Excellent. And let's put orange on there. What do you guys think? You tell me in the comments. Is it making a nice difference? Is it worth doing? I'm looking at a confidence monitor here. Seems to be smoothing things out. I think it looks pretty good. I think it looks pretty cool. Okay, so you got that. And then let's do, when I realize that this is slightly out of sync now, sorry. Let's do this. Now this is yellow. So what do you think? Did those work? Are they worth it? Are they worth it? And a very good point here as well is to remember that if you're shooting video, then you can put these color filters on your camera and shoot black and white video and get some really cool results. Oh, that could be fun too. All right, let's try some filters that are probably not going to look good. So this is blue. Ooh, this is definitely not going to be pretty. Okay, so here we go, blue. What does that do? The camera's on auto exposure, auto ISO, so that it can automatically adjust for the brightness on there. That's the flicker that you might be seeing as it compensates. So there's blue, and let's try green. There's the green filter. I can't wait to see the comments and see what you guys think, because I can't really see it from here that clearly to see the difference. So there's green, and then red. Man, these things are dirty. All right, red. There's the red filter. I know the hand in the way is probably not a pleasant part of the shot, but there's the red. So there you go. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that kind of cool? Is that kind of fun? I can leave that here. Yeah, let's go back over here. So there's the differences for that. That is looking at a face through those color filters. I can't wait to see what you guys think. So let's see here in the comments what you guys are saying here. Ricardo says, with orange, it seems to lower the contrast. Marvin says, neat, it really seems to bring out the contrast to your face. Bart says, not seeing a ton of difference until red. Marvin says, red, yuck. Red was weird. Awesome. I can't wait. Now I got to go back and look at the video later and see what it looked like. Ryan says, it looks like the warmer, shorter wave, the color, the smoother it makes the image. Interesting way to look at it. So there you go. It's kind of fun, right? Oh, and the shirt too, right? I wore this blue checkered shirt, so that should have been quite a bit of a difference in there as well. Yeah, in case you guys are wondering also as well, just in case you missed that show, that thing that I was standing in front of there, that's the Eyelighter. I'm pointing it out again because it's awesome. I love it. I did a show on it last week or week before. We'll link to that up here. And I love it. I think it's awesome. And I didn't want to send it back. And my friends at Westcott called me up and said, keep it. Just keep on showing it. Yes. So there we go. Showing it again. It's a beautiful product. Okay. So that's that. So now we've seen what we can do. Now, let's have a contest. I think we should have a contest. So here's what we're going to do. Here's the plan. This is going to be a photography contest. It's going to be a likes for wins photography contest. We'll spread this. We'll give this a couple of weeks because I want you guys to take the time to go out and get some color filters, whether you borrow them or buy some cheap ones or whatever, and do some black and white photography like this. Find a scene that just looks awesome with the filter on it, that has a really big difference with the filter, without the filter, and treat it. Make it your best. Do a side-by-side. I want you to create a single image to submit that is a two-panel, side-by-side. It can be two-panel like this, I don't care, that shows the original as a black and white without the color filter, and then the same photo, the black and white photo, with the color filter. So you got to actually shoot it with the color filter. And this is going to be on the honor system. I'm going to trust you guys to go out and actually put glass filters on there, not just tweak it in Photoshop. Okay, so let's honor system this one. I don't have any way to prove to verify it. So honor system this thing, but actually, we couldn't forget it. Just total honor system, just do it that way. and you're going to upload them to the Facebook group. So facebook.com/PhotoJoseph, there will be a group on there that is for, or a collection or album, that's the word. There'll be an album on there that's for this contest, so you can upload your photo to that album, and then people can start voting on it. And you can share it far and wide, say, hey, friends, vote for my picture on here, that's cool. Get them to come in there and vote, and we'll give it a couple of weeks for people to get the filters and find a good scene and tweak their photo and get it up there. But that's what we're gonna do. And then the winner of that, by whatever date, we'll call it 2-3 weeks from now, I don't know, we'll pick that at some point, is gonna get this fabulous little bag. Hey, so this bag, this company called Street-O-Matic sent 2 of these to me, one for me to give away to you guys and one for me to play with. You can tell I haven't even opened it and broken it out yet, but this is a cool little camera bag. They call it the fastest camera bag in the world. The whole idea there apparently is that you can get your camera out very, very quickly. Haven't used it yet. It looks beautiful. I picked this kind of nice leather looking one. Well, it is leather, brown leather with the gray. I think it's a beautiful looking bag. So that is going to be the prize for this contest. Excellent. So I have one that I'll do a review on it, a whole close look at that thing in an upcoming show. But this one is going to get given away to whoever wins the contest. So I will put links down below for more clear instructions on this. But again, it's going to be facebook.com/PhotoJoseph. You'll find an album there to submit to, and that's how this is going to go. All right, anything else in the comments here before we wrap this thing up? Ricardo says, with the blue, I like that it makes more contrast. Red is smoothing all the things up. Interesting. Red had an alien look, Jess says. Cool. I can't wait to look at these more closely. SRO says, it's like having your eyes tested. Different prescriptions being put in front of your eyes to see if there's an improvement between diopters, right? Totally. Ricardo says, so you would shoot the filters directly in black and white? Why not? I would still shoot in RAW. I would shoot RAW plus JPEG. So you get your JPEGs as a kind of a reference point of what it's supposed to look like perhaps, but I would start with that RAW image for my final manipulation that's got that heavy color cast to it and adjust from there. That's how I would do it. Ricardo's saying, is it not better to shoot in color than do black and white in post? So yes, you are still shooting in color. Remember when we were looking at the pictures here, we're looking at color versions. These are the original photos. These are the raw photos that were shot with the color filter over it and then converted into black and white. So yes, absolutely, that is a better way to do it. But again, I would shoot both. I'd shoot RAW plus JPEG. But you have that raw file with that color filter on it and then adjust it. And you know what? If you're really into this, take some time to take 2 photos side by side. Let's say you decide that the red filter is the one for this shot. So you take a picture without any filter, and then you put the red filter on and shoot the exact same picture. And then take those into Lightroom, Photoshop, whatever, and start enhancing them. And can you do something with the image that was shot through the red filter that you can't with the shot that was shot without a filter? That'd be an interesting test. Try that out, see what you guys think. I want to know. You do those tests, put it in the comments down below. Tell me what you think. Tell me your results. Tell me if you think this is it's super awesome, like, oh my God, this is great, and now I'm doing something really cool that I wasn't doing before, or is it a complete and total waste of time, and you can get the same thing by clicking the red filter button in Lightroom or Photoshop. So that's that. Speaking of learning things and enjoying things and figuring out that, you know what, this is actually really cool, I have an ask for you guys who are watching the show today. I have an ask. I have an ask that you help support the show. There's 4 different ways that you can support. If you go to photojoseph.com/support, you'll see buttons to all of these. The idea here is value for value. Did you learn something from today's show? Have you taken value away from today's show? And can you put a monetary figure on that value? If so, then head over to Patreon or send via PayPal, Apple Pay, Venmo, Google Pay, whatever. Send some funds to Joseph at photojoseph.com, or use an affiliate link to buy something, or you can even hire me as a private consultant to help you out with whatever is vexing you. If you're trying to figure out how to build your live studio, you're trying to figure out how to migrate from one photography system over to another, I can help you out with that. So those are the 4 different ways that you can primarily help this show. If you took value from today's show, I ask that you provide value in return. Head over to photojoseph.com/support and see what makes sense to you. So that's that. The contest is going to be a lot of fun. Shooting video in black and white with these color filters could be crazy cool. That's a whole different thing to have fun with. Lots of different ways to go about this, but put those photos together. Again, side by side, an original black and white conversion without the color filter, and then a black and white conversion with the color filter applied. Do a single image, so you have to go into Photoshop, make a single image that has the 2 side by side, upload that to the facebook.com/PhotoJoseph album that we'll create for this contest, and after a couple weeks we'll do votes via likes, and whoever wins will walk away with this lovely little bag, which I will ship anywhere in the world. Why not? It might take like 2.5 months to get to you if you live on the other side of the world and I ship it by the slow boat, but we'll get it to you. One way or another, we'll get that to you. All right, folks, that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you had fun, hope you enjoyed it, hope you learned something, and we'll see you on Friday for the next show. Bye-bye.